Well, hey there, and welcome to the bathroom of the dollhouse, where all the heavy thinking gets done. That's right, for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Use Elfers for September 6th, the day of unpredictable fate. And here at the top of the page for the day of unpredictable fate, we have us a visual representational image, I'd suppose, of the day. And what is it? Boom! It's a tennis racket hitting a dice. How about that? All right. A DykASSt birthday cast and a dice in the image. Now, I don't know if this is important or not, because what's important here is that it's your birthday today. That's right. Is it September 6th and it's your birthday today? If it is, I just want to extend you a heartfelt happy birthday. And if this video finds you long or perhaps shortly after that day has already come and gone, I hope you had a happy birthday. That's right. I hope you had a happy birthday. But for everyone else who's joining us randomly, or more importantly, to celebrate September 6th birthday, hey, I just want to say hello and welcome, and I hope you enjoy yourself. All right. Now, before we dive in with the birthday reading proper, let's roll some dice. That's right. This is the DykASSt birthday cast, so we got to live up to the namesake, am I right? But more importantly, we roll dice for synchronicity's sake. And here we rolled us a 2 and a 4 for 6. Ooh, how about that? No, that's interesting. This might line up for you later. Let's just see. Now, what is synchronicity, you might be wondering? Well, it's pretty easily and just as complicatedly, if that's even a word, explained. It's just you putting yourself out into the world and opening yourself up to the universe, showing you that it's with you on your path. And you just do that by going out and looking for these numbers. And when you see them, you chase after them with the vigor and zeal. That's right. Maybe you see a bus with the number 6 on it. So you jump on. And what do you see? Oh, you see just all sorts of people. But then maybe there's someone who's carrying a bag that has the number 4 on it. Who's to say? Cost for less, maybe. And it's spelled with a 4. I don't know. But you take that as your sign. I know it seems a little bit disjointed, but take it as a sign. Why not? It's your intuition, right? And when they get off the bus, you get off the bus too. And then you just put yourself in a place to look for more signs. And as you look for more signs, it's just the universe is going to keep taking you on your path. Even if you think that number 4 on the bag might have been the wrong choice, you know what? The universe tends to have a way and a means of putting more things in your path to get you right back on where you need to be going. Who's to say? Maybe you get back on that bus and it takes you around the bend to another stop and you get off, and what is it? It's a tennis court, and there's people shooting craps out there. Oh, it might just take on a theme, too. You know what? Synchronicity doesn't have to be this grand, elaborate thing or plan or scheme. Sometimes it's just the smaller things lining up to show you the universe is there with you on your path. So anyway, yeah, take that for what it is. At the very least, you're getting out and you're getting your steps in. 4 and a 2 for a 6. All right, hey, let's dive in with your birthday read. Your month of September, your day is the 6th. Your sign is 12 to 15 degrees Virgo, and your period is Virgo II. And your quality and elements is mutable earth. All right, September 6th, the day of unpredictable fate. Those born on September 6th are extremely vulnerable to the hidden workings of chance. More than others, their lives seem guided by the hand of fate, for better or worse. For many born in this day, life may be proceeding predictably when seemingly for no reason at all, whammo. That's all in capital letters there, whammo, and exclamation point. When September 6th people try to direct and, in a sense, restrict the course of their lives, things often just seem to work against them. They can make highly detailed plans, preparing for every contingency, and still find that events are not unfolding at all as they had expected. Experiences like this can be very trying and deeply frustrate the less hardy souls born on this day. And sometimes September 6 people impress others as being a bit short-sighted. They may seem so involved in the moment and their immediate success or lack of it that others feel they do not put enough energy into preparing for the future and perhaps more trying times. And such a perception is largely unfair, as those born in this day have probably learned through experience to focus on the present and take things a step at a time and go with life's rhythms. And though their lives may be quite uneven, September 6 people themselves are remarkably constant and faithful. Friends and family are extremely important to them and can serve as a protective buffer between them and the harsher side of life. When betrayal, as those born on this day see it, as is written in parentheticals, comes at the hands of someone close to them, where are we here? Someone close to them, it can be particularly devastating. And most September 6 people are concerned with appearing attractive to the world and pride themselves on their good looks. They value beauty highly, as well as romantic love. And some born on this day may mistakenly believe that such things can shield them from the slings and arrows of this world. And those who discover that this is not the case become a good bit more philosophical about love and life in general. Often, those born on September 6th will lead fairly uneventful, placid lives until their early 30s, when fate's workings seem to take hold. And once unexpected events start to shape their lives, however, many born on this day can themselves grow quite fatalistic. And these September 6 people, who have perhaps railed against fate for years, may finally turn around and accept it wholeheartedly. And by doing so, they empower fate, again for better or worse. And such September 6 people are particularly prone to self-fulfilling prophecies of all kinds, and must be aware of the power of their words, not only over their own lives, but over those of others as well. Well, all right. How about that for an interesting birthday breakdown? I'll tell you what. I thought it was interesting, that's for sure. And if you find that it's true, I mean, how about that? That would be interesting. Like, oh my God, it speaks right to me. Hopefully it does, okay? And in some regards, hopefully it doesn't. All right, let's get in with my commentary, my notes here, if you like. September 6th, extremely vulnerable to the hidden workings of chance. Is that right? All right, very interesting. Or perhaps even damning, all right? But trying to direct your life in spite of those realities makes me wonder if in a way it doesn't invite the most direct way of circumventing that direction. Very ironically frustrating indeed. And then there are those ostensibly short-sighted folks who, which I wouldn't have guessed at, all right? It mentions the short-sighted folks who kind of just, go with the flow, if you like. I was expecting to read about the hapless rube who skips through life with, the likes of an idiot smile and finds their way, not necessarily in the easy street, but a less frustrating, generally more absently lucky with positive outcomes kind of existence. But no, they mentioned this short-sighted person who's seen as short-sighted anyway. Instead, the short-sighted in the moment seem a little more, perhaps having been beaten down by doing as much prior. They learn their lessons about fate and are kind of just trying to avoid it, it seems like. Hey, to each their own. I can understand how something like that might just overwhelm, all right? I don't think my life is that way at all, but if it is for you, you might have trouble coping with it as well. Who's to say? See, they just figured that they know not to fight the powers, and I say I get it. But the way it's related, it doesn't seem as though they're being any kind of active or even reactive, just kind of passive. And that's no way of being in my mind. I mean, it is, but it's just no way of being, all right? Not when you can have the kind of stories that this unique kind of life dynamic probably breeds. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear or what you even want, but I mean, look at it from my perspective. And I don't know, I'm totally sympathetic to what you're going through. But you could have such interesting stories to tell, and maybe you don't care because it's just like, you don't want these stories, pal. But I don't know. Maybe you got to bear the burden, all right, just so that other people can be captivated. I don't know. If that's something you're interested in, then by all means. But I totally sympathize if you don't want anything to do with it. But I do find it interesting that the reading relates you may use others as a means to shield yourself from the world or this fate that's always against you. It's smart, and I get it. If you find the right people for that function, oh, there's nothing better in the world, right? At least as the saying goes. But I say don't shield yourself completely, all right? You need to maintain your own wherewithal, especially in the event that changes, because people can they can leave you just like that, no rhyme or reason. And where are you then? You're without your buffer. But if you keep yourself out from behind that shield once in a while, keep that skin tough, hey, you're gonna be able to rally a lot easier, I say. Any event, hey, that's been the breakdown. Let's get in to your numbers and your planets. All right, those born on the sixth day of the month, rather, are ruled by the number 6. Hey, how about that there? The number 6, all right? And the planet Venus. And because those ruled by the number 6 are magnetic in attracting love and admiration, and since Venus is strongly connected with social interaction, it can be a struggle at times for September 6 people to get the privacy and the seclusion they need. And the influence of Mercury, which is the ruler of Virgo, on Venus emphasizes the good tastes, idealism, and the love of beauty displayed by September 6 people. Often love becomes the dominant theme in life of those ruled by the number 6, and it's certainly true of those born on this day. Well, all right, what I have to say here in the notes, the number 6 and the planet Venus for that magnetic attraction of love and admiration, but which also apparently gives you no rest or time to rest from all the droves of suitors and hangers-on, ostensibly. But with Mercury as a co-ruler with Venus, love apparently becomes a dominant theme in your life, which, notably, makes no mention of a loss of value in love. And that's something that's common with other folks who possess the magnetic attraction with the number 6, all right? Let's see here, but who are short-sighted about it, as is the case of the August 6 person who's ruled by a Sun-Venus coupling there, and the August 24 person, rather, who's intent to be more of an observer with their Sun-Mercury-Venus rulership. So something to take note of, all right? That love takes the theme for you. It doesn't go by the wayside or take a kind of a far-sighted view of it. So take note of that. All right. What else did I have to say here? And this, not all people with this trait are known for taking advantage of it, rather. So how's that for fate? All right. Let me know that in the comments if that seems to relate to you. Or don't, whatever. All right, let's get in. More importantly, with your tarot card. That's right. It's one of the more eclectic of the New Age metaphysical ideologies, but it's in the book. It's fun. It's, it's something here we can access, even though some of us, like myself, don't know anything about it. So for me, that's why it's interesting. So let's see what it has to say. Your tarot card. As if to emphasize this last point, the 6th card of the major arcana is, you might have guessed it, the Lovers, all right? It's symbolizing that love unites all of humanity, through integration of masculine and feminine polarities. On the good side of this card indicates affections and desires of a high moral. I'm going to say morale. Of a high moral, aesthetic, and physical plane. On the bad side, unfulfilled desires, sentimentality, and indecisiveness. Well, all right. How's that for a rather disjointed read? Hey, it's one shot, one read, right? We got to get it as we can. But let's dive in with your tarot. That's right here. The Lovers, symbolic of the love that unites us all right? And through a coupling of male and female energy. For that high moral and aesthetic positives, and the indecisive, unfulfilled desires on the negative, which I'd argue speaks to the short-sighted individual who lives moment to moment, otherwise disengaged, ostensibly tired of fighting fate or leaning into it, all right? But I say lean into it regardless, all right? We already talked about this. Even with the risk of frustration, get into it. Be dynamic and be active, all right? Make some stories, all right? Captivate folks. This day, by my estimation, has the potential for so many interesting narratives, considering the setup. It just seems too real to be true, right? And you just have to accept your role as the rope in the proverbial tug of war, all right? And maybe when and if you do that, maybe just give this a try if you're averse to it. Just let the universe do it to you. See what happens. Maybe it goes a little easier. Be the rope in the tug of war. That's right. Don't be on either side fighting for your place in the mud. All right. I guess that might be how the metaphor goes, right? All right. Hey, let's dive in with your health. All right, let's get into the health. Those born on September 6th must not take their health for granted or become overconfident about their physical strength. Repressed emotions can have particularly bad effects on their abdominal organs, and thus regular checkups are a good idea. Most important, however, is that those born on this day develop a positive frame of mind built on a realistic view of the world. How about that? That seems a little bit counter to the idea that this fantastical thing's happening to you. This one birthday, which certainly does not favor spoiling by parents or having every met need in childhood. September 6 people will be stronger psychologically and less prone to illness if they have to fight to fulfill their needs and wants in their early years. Vigorous exercise and a healthy appetite, both for food and life in general, should be developed when September 6 people are young and continued into later years if they are to remain vital. All right. Let's see what I had to say about your health. All right. Don't repress your emotions, all right? Don't be that passive person. Stay positive about your position, even if it's just crumbling into tatters, all right? Stay positive. I know it's difficult. I run the issue too, all right? I fall by the wayside and get dour and down in the doldrums myself, all right? So I know the struggle, but maybe not yours specifically, but I have my own. What else do I have to say here? Stay positive. I argue that your life could be a definite fight, but there's value in struggle, especially one that is so specific as yours, all right? Vigorous exercise and an appetite for food and life to remain vital. It's the first mention that I can recall of them saying, put life into your diet. All right, so take note. Maybe there's a lot of folks out there who are just being passive. Get out there, be active, all right? Not reactive. But I mean, even maybe reactive has got a little bit more interesting than passive, right? In any event, hey, let's dive in with some advice. Learn to work with fate, okay? It is neither your enemy nor your friend, but it can become an accepted companion. Don't be afraid to take the initiative, all right? Build solidly and let go of some of your cherished illusions. And don't believe that you are misfortune prone. Well, all right, hey, I ran out of space in the notes, so I had to write in the book. All right, that's a sin in some cultures. There. All right. So what I have to say about your fate? Work with, or your reading rather, your advice. Work with fate as a companion. I'd say that's aptly put. All right, and take the initiative, as I've been saying. Step out from behind the. I can't read that word. Step out from behind the. I don't know. Get in there. Don't be passive. All right. Sometimes take the assault. You want to say, maybe what seems like the universe cutting you a raw deal is its way of preventing you from the experience of real calamity, okay? The likes of missing a flight to take on a life-changing job interview, only to find that plane crashes, all right? And that company was the likes of Enron, okay? Which, I mean, it's not very likely, but then again, maybe it is. And you don't know it. They just saved you from absolute ruin, right? Death. And even if you'd made it through that plane crash somehow and worked for that company, boom, you would have been financially destitute and in a much worse off way. Instead, you just missed a flight and had to find another job to interview for, right? Anyway, that's been your advice. So let's dive in. Let's take the energy down just a little bit and dive into your meditation. All right, your meditation. Thinking and speaking are powerfully predictive actions. Once again, thinking and speaking are powerfully predictive actions. All right, I'm not going to break that down for you. That's your meditation. It's your birthday. That's just for you to think on. And we're in the bathroom, so it's the perfect place to do it. All right. Hey, let's dive in with your strengths and your weaknesses. All right, your strengths. You're accepting, you're sympathetic, and you're tasteful. And your weaknesses. Are you ready? Ooh, your weaknesses. You're self-involved, you're repressed, and you're fatalistic. I can understand. But you gotta rise above, right? Get out from behind whatever word I wrote that I couldn't read because of my bad penmanship. That's right, okay. Hey, let's dive in with those born on this day. And I like to dive in with this with the viewpoint of looking at it is a way to learn something about ourselves, all right? Not only are we learning who shares your company, who was also born on this day, but I find it important to explore this idea of what we're doing with our lives, right? You know, I go out in the world, meet a lot of folks, ask them what they do, and more importantly, if they like it, and they generally don't, because they just haven't had the time to put in the work to figure out their passion. What gets them up in the morning with a smile on their face? And rightfully so. There isn't a lot of time to do that work because you got to get into a job and you know, stay secure, pay the mortgage, all that stuff. There's no time. And so I find that this is a perfect opportunity to see what other people who put themselves on the map did to find or what they did to put themselves on the map, rather. And maybe you can derive some inspiration if you find yourself in a similar position where you don't know what your passion is. I think you get the point. So let's dive in with those born on this day. And we start off with Jane Addams, the American Nobel Peace Prize winning social reformer, pacifist, and founder of Hull House, which was a center for the poor, and the International Women's Movement for Peace and Freedom. We also have Joseph P. Kennedy, a financier and the youngest bank president at the age of 25. He was also a shipbuilder and an RKO head, and also the other film company, Pathé. I'm not quite sure how you say it. He was also an SEC chairman, ambassador to UK, and the father of JFK and RFK. So, had a lot going on there. We also have Marquis de Lafayette, who was a French general during the American Revolution, and he served on Washington's staff. We also have Jane Curtin, the TV comedian of the Saturday Night Live cast there. We also have Johnny Kelly, a distance runner and a 2-time Boston Marathon winner. Also a 7-time runner-up, and he completed the 61st marathon at age 81. So he didn't let fate get him down. He won the Boston Marathon twice, all right? Who else we got here? We have Andrew White, the jazz multi-instrumentalist and transcriber. We have Clancy Sigel, S-I-G-A-L, not quite sure, journalist, novelist of Going Away. We also have Fritz Kunkel, was a German character analyst and an Adler follower. Not quite sure what that is, but says that's what they did, Adler follower. Prince Klaus was a German prince of Holland. Billy Rose, the entrepreneur, showman, songwriter, and club owner. We also have Paige Smith, the historian. Karen Baldwin, Miss Universe. Let's see, Franz Josef Strauss, the German president. Florence Goodenough, developmental psychologist and responsible for the Handbook of Child Psychology. We have Roger Law, British TV characterist, responsible for Spitting Image. We also have Margaret Millard, physician. Antoine Diabelli, Austrian-born composer. Harold Scott, the actor. T.H. Tackaberry, the U.S. Army Major General. Robert Wyatt, a Scottish 18th century medical writer. And one that I entered in here, Robert Pirsig, the philosopher responsible for Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance. Yeah, get in there, get that book. Learn you about quality and romantic versus dynamic kind of thing. In any event, I can't explain it. It's too lofty an idea. And I'm probably forgetting some of it. But in any event, that has been those born on this day. Hopefully you derived a little bit of inspiration seeing the whole scope of individuals and what they did and what put them in the book and on the map and in the cultural zeitgeist, if you like. But just remember, even if fate is controlling your life, you do have some control over it. Arguably. That's right. In any event, I think, by and large, this has been your birthday reading, except to say your season is summer. Your sign, once again, is Virgo, of the Virgo II period specifically. And your quality and element is mutable earth. And this has been September 6th. The Day of Unpredictable Fate, from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and U. Stelfers. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description if you're interested in picking up a copy, learning more. I'd say your day is one of the most unique. I don't say that very often. I say they were interesting. Yours is pretty unique, all right? And you weren't even ruled by the sun. Usually that falls to being ruled by the sun. Anyway, hey, pick you up a copy. Great as an icebreaker if you're needing something like that for company. But more importantly, why are we here? To wish you a happy birthday. That's right. I just want to say happy birthday. Hope you have a happy birthday. And for everyone else who's just joining us randomly, hope you enjoyed yourself and you join us for your birthday reading. That's right. And to take us out, lest we forget, your daily numbers. That's right. A 4 and a 2 for a 6. How about that? It doesn't always land on the number of your day, but it did today. How about that for synchronicity? So go find you a tennis court and some dice to roll. And it was dice. How about that? All right. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Once again, happy birthday. Take care of yourself.